Thank you. And, thank you for rebranding me 3 times as a professor, consultant, politician, and a diplomat. I was married 3 times too, and I'm now in a process of rebranding for the 4th time, not marrying for the 4th time, though. What is the content of it, I'll leave for later. So now I'll take you on a tour of branding a nation, branding a country as I see it. First, about some words that you don't know, because they are in Croatian. But if somebody would be here from Croatia, the person would find out very soon that he or she doesn't know those words too, although they are Croatian, because they have been added to the Croatian dictionary last 3 years, and that was my initiative. Because in Croatia, we didn't have 2 necessary words, not only in Croatia, in many other Slavic languages, that are normally part of English and French and some other languages. Namely, you can see which words are there. The first word is efficiency. The second one is effectiveness. Now in Croatian, we had only one word, which would be učinkovitos, and that would cover both. No distinction among the 2. It looks like minor linguistic difference. It's actually the core of cultural difference, and the consequence of that we feel even today, when in Croatia we are not skilled enough in setting something efficiently and effectively. So, as you know, the effectiveness is to do the right things, and the efficiency is to do the things the right way. Right way meaning doing the lower prices, less effort, less investment, less time to achieve more. More quality in whatever you do. On the other hand, effectiveness to do more important things, to do the most important thing, to choose what is the most important thing, to ask the right questions, and to have more quality by choosing what to do first. Now, efficiency answers to the question of how, and effectiveness to the question what. In branding, this is extremely important. In a moment, you will see. Let's just imagine for a second that we are a country investment board. And from our perspective, it's very important to brand. It's very important to brand everything, from, for example, our products. And here you see 2 brands of water, mainly more or less the same chemical content, but one price almost 8 euros, other one priced 3 euros, a no name and San Pellegrino brand. By the way, Croatian brand Jana came the 3rd water brand in the world recently. Anyway, this is why branding is important, economically speaking, precisely and clearly. Now let's look at the worth of some brands in billion of dollars, and those are some spinning numbers that you can see in this table. Now let's imagine that we are a country tourist organization, and we look from this perspective at the branding again, and here we have a room. So what is the price of this room? Anyone would care to answer? Well, a smart guy, a wise guy would say, may I ask a question? And the question would be, where is the room? Because the same room doesn't have the same price. Depends where the room is. So here is I calculated the country brands of the same rooms in certain countries, and here you have Croatia with index 259, the highest price in Italy 4.2, Austria 3.2, Macedonia below Croatia 2.11, and Burkina Faso 1.9. More or less the same room. So that's, from a touristical point of view, the value of a brand. You cannot put a room in your pocket, in your bag, and take it in various countries. That would be easy money. But basically, people who are in this business, they know it. So we go back to this effectiveness question. What is important and why it is important and how to achieve it? This is what we will try to do. And my branding tour will have basically 2 core components. One core component is a brand promise. Each brand offers a promise. And the second core component is brand identity. Just like a person has identity, brand has identity too. That's identity, relaxation, Tobago style. Now, brand promise is typically made of business description or country description, positioning in a set of similars, and a personality that goes with it. While the brand identity, typically, technically speaking, it's the name of a country, a logo, a tagline or a slogan, and the visual system that goes with it. Let's walk through this a little bit. Business description. When it comes to the country, business description includes just about everything. Tourism, politics, NGOs, business, investment, products. All of this is the business description of a country. When you come to the positioning, here is one little secret that people who are rich and have lots of money know, people who are less fortunate kind of struggle with it. And this is stated simply, the more intangible a certain brand is, the more money it makes. So the infrastructure, which is very tangible, or the product, which is also tangible, make less money than if you brand process, people, and values. I did brand one of the largest world cement industries. And I rebranded cement industry, which is very concrete, into something very value-oriented. We are a cement industry was the starting point. The ending slogan was, we build the foundations for the society future. So we moved and repositioned this tangible, intangible continuum. Personality. How to show it without offending anyone? Well, why not invent one country and a personality of one country? Here it goes. Personality is typically a stereotype, a set of characteristics that are attached basically to the people because they do represent a country. So branding personality is nation brought to life as a person. And what is interesting, this is a typical nation stereotype. If somebody would ask you, what do you think about Germans? Very close. You will come to association, they are precise, etc., etc. You will speak about the elements of the stereotype. So let's take a tour and let's imagine one nation, not from this world because the brand is too good to be true. First, driven people, evidencing effort or compelling sense of urgency. This is one of their characteristics. Precise, exactly defined or stated. Cosmopolitan, composed of person, constituencies, or elements from many parts of the world. Robust, firm in purpose or outlook. Intimate. Ethical, conforming to accepted professional standards of conduct. Now, why is this important? Because, remember investment boards? Countries that are not developed enough, even the most developed countries, they want more investment. Countries in the Eastern Europe, they're starving for more investment. So more or less everybody wants it. If you are an investment board, then you would want to brand your country so to send such a message that the investment come to your country. But going back to the first definition of efficiency and efficacy, what you will conclude soon, that is not really the same what kind of investment. And here is one for our invented country, one possible investment strategy. A creative investment objectives for our invented nation personality would be not bring your business to exploit our low labor cost and benefit from our low taxes. We don't want that investment. But bring your brains and your family too, and we have the socioeconomic environment and the policies to valorize them. And that is an investment approach that the smart country should have. Now, what are the economic benefits of good identity? That I have just described one of them. Here is a list. I will not read all of it, but just say something. Attracting new business partner, better cash flow and profits, entering new markets, attracting new customers, human capital, attracting good employees, better research and development, better relationship with NGOs, more effective place brand extensions, more influence in global process, better risk management, etc., etc. All of those are consequences and economic benefits of good identity. You want to have a good identity, you have to intermingle. You have to have multiple forms of allegiance, like the professor said before. Yes, you can be a Commonwealth and a country at the same time. You can be in EU and Britain at the same time. You can have multiple identities, and you have to be ready to go into dialogue with people, countries, and businesses. And when it comes to the Croatia, we just joined the EU, and EU is full of identities. Here are some funny identities you can see on this cartoon. Sorry, the screen is not bigger. You cannot maybe see it, so I'll read just a few. For example, the perfect European should be like a Briton. He should be cooking like a Brit. He should be available like a Belgian, or talkative as Finn, or humorous as a German, or discreet as an Italian, etc., etc. So those are some funny parts, opposites of what the stereotypes of certain nations are, and Croatian and the Croat will be added soon to this cartoon. So going back to our components of the brand, now we are in the situation that we go to the brand identity, to the tagline. This is what is there, relaxation Tobago style. Now, our new invented country tagline is strength, performance, and passion. That's what we are, that's what we want, that's what we deliver. The three things. Now, that's the imaginary world, you would say. Let's go back to the real world and see what's going on in the real world when it comes to branding. And to my big disappointment, and to the pleasure of many consultants, not so good things happen to different countries and nation branding process all around the world. Here I have put some cliches. I grouped them together in order to illustrate certain countries and the messages they are sending in the slogans, like the one you have here. There are many countries who go by the cliche of heart. Latvia is the heartland of Baltic. Slovakia is forever in your heart. Montenegro is the great heart of Mediterranean, the smallest country. Serbia is the landscape painted with a heart, etc., etc. Heart all around. Creativity lost along the way. Second cliche group is sun. Slovenia is the sunny side of Alps. And it was a slogan that worked for a while, but one day Italy protested, what are we on the other side of the Alps? Is not our Italy sunny as well? So Slovenia dropped it. Spain, everything under the sun. Nigeria, great giant under the sun. Or the Maldives, the sunny side of life. Another cliche is different, just be different. Estonia, the Baltic country with a difference. What about Latvia? And its difference. Kuwait, it's different. I tell you, it's different. Northern Ireland, live a different life. Well, certainly it's different. Louisiana, come as you are and live different. So basically, a difference cliche played so many times. By the way, we are laughing at it, but it's not a laughing matter. I started to count the expenses of this business. And I ended up with over 5 million euros. And then I stopped because it would take me much more time to finish this process for the countries that I'm mentioning here. And I have only 750,000 hours on this earth on average. And I don't want to waste them on counting the total sum. But it was easily to come to over 5 millions. So romance is another cliche that you find very often. Iowa, you make me smile. Tonga, land of love. Paraguay, a destination in seduction. Or another famous cliche is secret. Venezuela, the best kept secret in Caribbean. What about others? Madagascar, the world's best kept secret. So I will not argue which one is better. Rhyme is also there very often. Tennessee is good for me. Peru is waiting for you. Ecuador is more. Another way of doing it is that you are out of ideas and you're a consultant, you use something vague. Like Singapore, so easy to enjoy. Switzerland, your holiday. Austria, holiday breakaway. Turkey, welcome to France. All other enemies. Croatia, the Mediterranean as it once was. Actually, the first version of this slogan was the Mediterranean as we remember. Awful slogan. We'll come to this later. Then, some of the words that I could find was the Chile. It's going to be in. One of those days, next century, it's going to be in. Pakistan. Visit Pakistan our way. Wow, this sounds dangerous. Or Washington State, the place you have been trying to get to. And obviously you got to Washington capital. But there are some good cases, like Panama, much more than a canal. Actually, what's your association of Panama? Just a canal. And there is much, much more to it. So it's educational, it's inspiring, and it's creative, and it makes it easily attractive. Las Vegas, open 24 hours. Not a bad one. Jamaica, come to Jamaica and feel all right. Ethiopia, perhaps the best. 13 months of sunshine. How it comes? Anybody knows? Well, actually, it's true. It is 13 months of sunshine. They have a calendar in a year that has 13 months. So it's a good one. It's educational. And then we come to the visual system. And for that, I'll give you a few examples of Croatia, my own country. When you see those flags and you see in various sports and disciplines, all this white and red and blue, it's easily to recognize that this is Croatia or Croatian sport or something like that. Those are some of the ways. What is important in visual presentation of your brand slogan? The most important thing is to be salient, to be vivid, to be recognizable. Because it took 38 years to reach 50 million people when radio was invented. Only 13 when TV started to reach 50 million people. Only 3 years after internet was there. And now with Twitter and the rest, I would say it's about 6 months to reach 50 million people. So in all this cacophony of stimuli, how often do you think that Trinidad and Tobago is on the mind of an average citizen of this planet? 5 seconds a day, that would be a lot. 5 seconds a month, a year, you're very lucky if you get it. Any country is very lucky if a person thinks of that country a few seconds. So in order to be observed, to be recognizable, you have to be vivid, you have to be salient. There are many ways of doing it. Here is one of the ways we did it in Croatia. I think it's fairly creative. It's a Roman amphitheater that's in my hood. And Croatia, actually, cravat or necktie was invented in Croatia. Many people don't know that. And in order to brand that, from Croatia, the soldiers had this necktie. Then it was, the fashion went to the French court, and here comes the name cravat. And this is how, from there, it spread all around the world. But the idea that to brand two things, one that has is a place branding plus something that is a product, is one of the ways of presenting. Good one, not great one. Now this is the same thing. You can see little people at the end of the necktie down there. Now, something that's very, very important. We do make products in factories, but brands are created in people's minds. And this is what makes them so sensitive to what is going on and to the changes. Now, here I will show you from my own country one very bad case of branding through cello diplomacy, and one good case of branding that even got the best branding award in Europe a few years ago, and the third one, if I can hook to the internet, the one that is even better and newer, didn't get any awards yet. Public diplomacy, I will skip that, but here is this is a US concept. I must say that as an ex-teacher and professor, that US concept of public diplomacy is promotion of culture and own foreign policy. That was the old-fashioned way of doing things. Governmental activities intended to inform, influence, and understand foreign publics. That's the definition in US Congress. The new public diplomacy is something else. More risks, abandoning the illusion of complete control, more unpredictability, more civil society, more communication, individual versus individual, instead of state talking to individuals. And here we have one case from my own experience that I will say about this new diplomacy before I go toward closure. When I was ambassador in Montenegro, I had a task, and think how you would do it, to tell to the leadership of Montenegro that they are corrupt. And my task was to do it publicly. What was even worse, my task was to do it in such a manner so that they like me and respect me after that. Now that was the problem. That was the problem. So I was thinking what to do and how to do it. Because the general message was, there's too much corruption, you want to come to the EU, Montenegro is a candidate country, Croatia was just a few days later became a member of the EU. How to do it? I decided to use art in diplomacy, to communicate to the art. So first I called my wife up and I said, please, you will play saxophone and you will be Miss Croatia. And this gentleman here will play a piano, he will be Mr. Montenegro. And so what you will do, because Croatia we just came into the EU, Montenegro is a candidate country, why don't you play Ode to Joy, obviously. So they started. What I told them before, in advance, was play it the worst you can. Do it in such a way that's unrecognizable. And they started. And believe me or not, half of diplomatic corps, and the surrounding was a big round pool, about 200 tables in an arena way all around it, central stage in the middle of the pool. And a nice lunch. Candles and things like that. And about half of the audience, ambassadors, diplomats, the leadership of Montenegro, they stood up. And about 1/3 was sitting down. All of those who stood up, they didn't know the difference, what was good or what was wrong, musical or not musical. They had a very bad ear. So that was the entrance. The second thing was, I said, in the middle of the performance, I said, stop, please stop. I cannot allow this, that Croatia and Montenegro perform so poorly. You have to practice more. The idea is you have to change your countries more in order to be in accord with European standards. So please practice again. And there was somebody from the audience, wife of one Montenegrin ambassador to Italy. She said, if my husband would say something to me, I would never ever do anything for him. And hopefully they listened to me, they started again, and now they played Ode to Joy perfectly. That was good. But then comes the corruption issue. Then I said, Croatia and Montenegro, they should contribute to the EU something very original, and you have to show that you can play something very good, something that was a problem but is not anymore. And I told them to play a theme from Godfather, Mafia, which was the message to Montenegrin officials who have been there, to all the ambassadors, to the diplomatic corps, and they played the Godfather beautifully and got an applause for it. And later on, the American ambassador, actually, she came to me and said, you know, maybe German ambassador, myself, maybe 7 or 8 of others understood you. I'm not sure everybody else did. So anyway, that was good intention with a half success. Okay. So, going back to demonstrate what is the difference, what is the change. It used to be state talking to state. Then it used to be state talking to many people. Where, for example, United States defining a message to be broadcast to the whole world by using all the media. And it backfired. Then you had a situation where many people talk to many people, like today on the internet. And you have also a situation where state talk to a person, and a situation where a person talks to state. Like, for example, Borat. Why is this so important? Imagine two things. You like that girl very much at the end of the room. And you decide to do two things. You take a box of candy, bring it to the girl, and you tell her something like this. "No, this is a good chocolate for you. I hope you will like me. I'm a beautiful person. Now can we go out?" Theoretically, everything is okay, but it's awfully inefficient and ineffective. How about if I take this box of chocolate and give it to Janelle and say, "Janelle, please, why don't you go to that girl over there, give her this, this is a chocolate for you, and tell her something nice about myself." Now, this is exactly what the branding is. You don't want to be the state who is sending the message. You don't want to be the one who is telling the people how beautiful you are. Beautiful state, beautiful this, beautiful that, smart, etc., etc. Good food, enjoyment, etc. You want others to tell that for you. So this is what is the change. Here you have one case where you have individual public branding towards state public branding. Ali G. Borat, Cultural Learnings of America for Make Benefit Glorious Nation of Kazakhstan, with Belinda Bedekovic on piano from Croatia. What was the reaction of Kazakhstan state on that? You know, they got offended very much. So much, they wrote down, that was in all the papers, they protested to US, they protested all around the world on it, so they got the message from Borat. But after that, they got some consultants, and I know one of them, and they changed. So what they did, they invited Borat, please come to Kazakhstan, you will learn how we are, how we function, and you will know more about us. So they change the behavior. So sometimes, just sometimes, because of the media and the day, it's possible that the branding goes in opposite direction from the individual to the state. This is why you have very often this. The backfiring that has happened to the United States in many stages last 20 years. So now we come to the final question and going for a closure. Brands, is this a manipulation? Are the brands just another new fad of the old propaganda process or not? Well, the answer goes to one of my favorite songs, that's the John Lennon song, and the answer, academically speaking, would be no. No, it's not propaganda if the brand describes what a country is or will make an honest effort to be. Now then, it's not a propaganda. Like Lennon said, you can shine your shoes and wear a suit, you can comb your hair, I cannot, and look quite cute, you can hide your face behind a smile, but there is one thing you can't hide. It's when you are crippled inside. And you don't want to send this message. The problem with the states is they promise so many goodies, good food, good this, good that, good people, polite people, charming people, blah, 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 good hosts. And then you come to a country and there is disappointment. They are less than perfect, not to say something else. And that kills the intention of a brand. So we come now to a very important point. Brand has two directions to go. Outside, it goes to the general public, but inside, it goes in the efficient and effective organization of us as a state and the people who are making this unity we call state or nation. Without that, we cannot deliver. If we cannot deliver, then the stereotype or the personality of the brand will change. And in the stereotype of creations, for example, there will be another new added element among being joyful, with good food, etc., etc. There will be liars or something similar. because they don't deliver. So you don't want to use your brand to work against you. And in order not to, you have to understand that the brand is an invitation for the alignment inside of the country at the same time as sending a message to everybody else. Now there is another difficult academic question. Talking about alignment inside of the country, now where is democracy gone? Who will align us? A dictator? How can we get aligned? Now this is a difficult question. But obviously not through a dictatorship. Should be aligned through a negotiation within a country. What are the common values? What we want to be? What is the best for the country? And the healthier and the better democracy is, the better is, the closer is to this goal to achieve this. And some countries can come much, much closer than the others. The ones that have come closer are the ones who are using impact assessment of their national politics. Now this is being, in Great Britain, I have learned a great fact. And the Cameron said, impact assessment of every role. Two laws out, one law in, a rule. Okay, strength, performance, passion. In our imagined country, we look like, we act like, we should behave like this. Otherwise, our imagined country cannot work, that I have shown you the personality before. So here we come, efficiency and effectiveness again. Now, does this sound complicated? Well, there is another possibility, another alternative, and this is the one. Thank you very much for your attention. I'm ready for the questions.